Hi there, great and glorious Nick Dutch here yet again. I'm just reading through a few blogs that I've been typing up, and the first one is about mancies, as in cartomancy, geomancy, basically talking about divination. And this one's entitled A Rational Overview of Divination. All mancies, or whatever the plural of mancy is, are predominantly fun, pleasurable ways of getting insight from one's own mind, some say, and a way of exploring the creative processes of the mind in ways that are somehow counter-logical. Without knowing it, you yourself have probably performed some kind of mancy and have probably found it useful. Reading a motivational book and suddenly having a flash of insight as to how to overcome a problem is a variety of mancy or divination. Have you ever been in a brainstorming meeting and tried to overcome a few issues through conversations and had flashes of insight from the random gibberish spoken by your colleagues and business partners? If you have, then you have performed an act of divination. Naturally, there seem to be different levels of effects that can be gained and different ways at different times. One might go so far as to say that the purpose of a divination exercise is to have an experience, nothing less, that seems to give insight and vision to any specific type of question that you have pressing on your mind. It is true that at times these forms of insight and bolts from the blue do seem to come from outside of oneself. And again, whether they actually do come from outside of oneself remains open to much debate. Different kinds of people prefer different sources of inspiration. For some, it's a nice conversation with a friend over coffee, and for others, delving into the books of religion. And yep, the cat has just come in. Yes, groovy. Those of us who use mythological imagery, symbolism, and apparently random outcomes of items that have been given some kind of meaning by mankind, often, so it is believed or assumed, from antiquity, that seems to create a pattern, are known as occultists, psychic seers, or diviners. There are more different types of mancy, namely type of divination methodology out there, than you could shake a stick at. And with all of them, the goal is still the same, to get answers of sorts, or experiences that can be useful. But we have to look with care at what we regard as answers and how we're to interpret the answers that we received. Just because a business advisor tells me to present my business to someone in a particular manner doesn't mean that I have to take his advice. Just because a highly skilled accountant thinks that certain figures should be interpreted in a particular way does not mean to say they're right. I've actually worked for an accountant who couldn't read his own handwriting. And so it follows onward that the information that you are given by an advisor of any type is useful as far as it goes and cannot be seen as being a concrete truth, but a truth from a perspective. We can say without any doubt that the client of the diviner can gain some valuable insight from the diviner. We can say that the client may get a different perspective that can be a pause for thought and a contemplation. In that way alone, the service of the diviner is valuable, not only as a viable business in the national economy, but as a way that humans can use to get sometimes needed different points of view, and it's socially, culturally, and psychologically useful service. But it is unwise for the clients to perceive the diviner as the one who has the whole knowledge of God at his fingertips. Divination is a creative and inspiration-driven service to give you a different point of view. Nick Dutch signing out.